Your boy Amari. I'm here at RetroCon 2022 in Philadelphia at the Greater Philadelphia Center. I'm just letting you guys know it's happening right now. Right now. This place is jam-packed, wall to wall with bodies of people. I can't believe this. It's amazing here. So many people that I wasn't expecting to see here at today's show. Listen, guys, I'm going to make sure to do the best interviews I can for today because I'm only going to be here for one day. So, without further ado, let's make this shit happen. Bye-bye. Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Amari. I'm still here at RetroCon 2022, Saturday, September 24th. I'm here with one of the biggest voice actresses in the business. Yes, you heard right. One of the biggest. She's not one to smoke.
I'm only 4'10".
All right. I wasn't going there, but I didn't. Okay. You have me laughing. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. Oh man. I'm here with the lovely, the one and only Renae Jacobs. She's a part of your childhood. She made your childhood amazing. Now, we have the opportunity to invite her. As I told you guys before, I always have the best guests on my program. And the lady next to me is no exception to that statement. Here's the one and only Renae Jacobs. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Having a great time here in Philadelphia, and it's an amazing Comic-Con. It's huge.
RetroCon.
Well, RetroCon, but it is a Comic-Con.
Something like that. I'm trying to get a joke on her, but it's not working. I know about you, but my audience members don't know anything about you. Could you tell me a little bit of your origin story? How did you get into voice acting?
Absolutely. When I was a little kid, why don't I take this and I'll give it back?
She knows what she's doing.
Taking over the show. When I was little, I was about 6 years old. I lived in Michigan, and we had a basement. And my parents had kind of set up a room for me to, a playroom, basically. And I used to line up my stuffed animals on the couch and do voices, make voices for each one of them. And my mother thought, who's down in the basement with Renae? And she came downstairs and saw it was just me. And it happened that there was like a PBS television station from Michigan State University when I lived in Lansing. And there was a woman there who did a TV show which had to do with puppets. So my mom signed me up for a class. I learned how to make puppets, and at 6 years old, I appeared on her show.
Nice.
Yeah, so I started then.
She's a professional with the mic, so it's totally natural when it's in her hands. So that's how you got your start in voiceover, doing puppet voices.
Yes.
Okay, and how many characters did you play on that program?
Oh, I did a lot. I don't remember. I really don't. I was 6 through 9 years old.
Gotcha. I understand. So how did you get your start with voiceover animation work? What was the first job you ever worked on?
Oh, that's a good question. There were a lot of shows that were all at the same time. And so I did the Moon Dreamers and...
Oh, I don't want to deny a professional.
Oh, why, thank you. Thank you. So the Moon Dreamers and Rose Petal Place, and I did Don Quixote and Punky Brewster, and a lot of the shows that were done by Deke and Hanna-Barbera and other companies. There were a lot of them that were going on at the same time. Oh, I'm looking at all my... He's pulled up my IMDb. So yeah, here I am, all those shows. You guys can pull up my IMDb too and find out all the shows I've been. That's funny.
For the record, I'm just the associate producer on this one. She's the reporter. She's the star of this segment. Oh, you worked on Punky Brewster. I love the Punky Brewster TV show. It was really great.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't even look old enough to have seen it.
Oh, I used to watch the live action as well as the cartoon when it was on NBC.
Yes. Soleil Moon Fry, right?
Yes. So, I've heard a lot of wild and crazy rumors about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. So please tell me about your vantage points on the whole show.
Well, April was kind of the straight person. She didn't get to ad lib and make up jokes. She just was there to be taken away by some bad guy and rescued by the turtles. But the guys are and continue to be so funny and so sweet and so kind. It was absolutely a wonderful and charming and fun, and I was so lucky to be on the show with them.
Oh, how did you hear about the audition?
My agent called me and said, there's this new show. It's called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I went, what? Nobody knew what it was. And a director that I had worked with, Stu Rosen, was the director at the time, and he was holding a casting call. So every voiceover actress in town went in to audition, and he told me later that he had played every single audition except mine because he didn't think I was April. And they kept saying, nope, 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 nope. And then he said, well, I have one more, but I don't think it's April. And then he played my audition, and they said, that's April. So that's how I got the audition.
Well, here's some funny news a lot of people don't know. Originally in the comic book, April is actually a lab assistant to Dr. Baxter Stockman. But when the show came out, they decided to make her a news reporter. And so, do you have any information on why they decided to change her from being a lab assistant to a reporter?
No.
Wow, they never told you?
No.
Damn. Well, you did one hell of a job with the show. You know, you got to work with Cam Clark, Rob Paulson, Barry Gordy, Barry Gordon. Yeah.
Different Barry.
Yeah, I know. I remember him from the other show he worked on called The Mighty Orbots. You worked with
Coleman, too.
Tanza Coleman, and you also worked with Uncle Phil, Javery. Yeah.
Wonderful man.
Yeah. I actually wanted him to play Panthro in the 2011 ThunderCats reboot, but they gave the job to someone else, and I won't mention their name. But the show, I really loved it. So did you get to ever meet any of the animators from the Turtle Show?
No, the animators started out in Korea and then they started doing the show in Ireland. So we never met any of the animators. We met some of the writers on the show. I don't remember their names. Obviously the producers. I think Kevin and Peter came a couple times to record, but they basically stayed in the booth. So yeah.
Here's the funny thing. That's one story everyone keeps confirming, the animation thing. What I mean by that is I know the first season was animated by Toei Animation, and then the rest of the show was animated some parts in Korea and the infamous Ireland. They had an animation studio in Ireland. Like, I wonder, so then who was animating the cartoon in Ireland?
People who were in Ireland.
Yeah, because here's something a lot of fans don't know. There's a lot of mystery and hoo-ha when it comes to animation because nobody really discusses the whole truth. And unfortunately, not all the voice actors are going to know about it. And believe me, I've interviewed a lot of them and asked them questions, and they just don't know. So here's one thing that's been driving me crazy. When they made the live-action movies, I was expecting at least for you or some of the actors from the show to make a cameo appearance, which they should have done because it would have made the movie more great. That's just my opinion. What do you think?
I agree.
She agrees. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Wonderful. So, are you working on anything currently right now?
Well, right now I'm doing a number of Comic-Cons. There's some things behind the scenes that I can't talk about at the moment, but when they come out, people can find me on Facebook, Renae Jacobs, Renae Jacobs, the original voice of April O'Neil, or on Instagram, which is Renae_Jacobs, JACOBS_AKA_April O'Neil.
Here's the real truth, people. She is the best April O'Neil.
Thank you.
The truth. It's the truth. It's not a fact. It's not an opinion. It's just truth. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Renae, I just have to say thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you here at next year's RetroCon. I know that you were a last-minute addition because There are two other voice actors that couldn't make it here today, and you're filling their shoes for them. Thank you so much for really being here, truly and honestly.
Absolutely. I was invited to be here a couple of years ago, and then obviously COVID hit. So it was nice to be able to be invited back, and I've had a great time. It's a fabulous show, and thank you so much for stopping and talking with me. It was nice to meet you.
But I have to thank you more, because if you didn't show up, I didn't know what to do with my damn self. I'm serious, because there's something I'm going to say that a lot of people are afraid to say. I love hearing your voice coming through some of these cartoon characters, because some of the voice actresses that try to fill your shoes, they just can't cut the mustard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's the real truth. I mean, without you, like, guys like me can't. I won't have an imagination. And just to show you how much I appreciate Renae Jacobs, a couple weeks from now, I'm going to send her a special one-of-a-kind watercolor illustration.
Look forward to seeing it.
Oh, yeah, because I have to get it done as soon as possible. You're welcome, Renae. Nice finally meet you in person.
Turtle power on 3?
Yes.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Turtle power! Bye, everybody.
Matine minasan. Konnichiwa. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Amari. Yes, I'm here at RetroCon 2020 in Philadelphia. As I told you guys before, I always have the best guests on my program. And the young lady that you see in front of my camera is no exception to that statement. She's a legendary voice actress. Many of you have heard her voice, but you haven't got to see her face. Now in a very exclusive interview for 2020, 2020, September 2020, 24th. I'm here with the one and only Venus Terzo. Good afternoon, Venus. How you doing?
Hey, I'm pretty good, Amari. How are you?
I'm happy now that I've got to finally meet you. I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience. I know about you, but could you tell my audience members a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. My name is Venus Terzo. I'm a Canadian voice actress. Some of you may know me as Black Arachnia from Beast Wars. I've also done Ranma and Ranma 1/2, Jean Grey and X-Men Evolution, and plenty more. I'm just glad to be here today, and I hope you guys are enjoying your day.
Thank you. So tell me, how did you get your start in voiceover animation? Who inspired you to do it, and how do you stay motivated?
Actually, a friend of mine, as being an actor in Vancouver, when I first moved there, a friend of mine introduced me to a woman who was bringing in cartoon shows, and she let me listen to some voice tapes that some other actors had done, and I thought, well, I can do this. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds, trust me. But that's how I got my start. I did a voice tape, I started auditioning, and then I landed my first gig as a voice actress was Princess Lana in Captain N and the Game Master.
Okay, well, since you mentioned Princess Lana, and that's how I greeted you, how did you bring Princess Lana to life? Like, did you do any historical research on different princesses throughout the years, or were you like, you know what, let me just go resort back to what I used to do when I was a little child?
So basically, they just, when you audition for the role, they just show you a photo of the character, a rough copy, and just a one page of dialogue. So you really don't have any idea what you're getting into because everything is super top secret. But once you get the role, then you're given a script on the day of recording. So we would pretty much go in, and it was kind of like a cold read. But as we were in there, we would do it over and over again until we got the scenes right and the director was happy with our performance.
So, Princess Lana, like, that show, Captain and the Game Master, I thought it was really great. I just felt that it wasn't going in the direction it should have gone. Like, one, they should have given Lana more action in the show. That's just my opinion, though.
You know what? I have to agree with you. But like I said, I think it was to introduce the Nintendo machines before they came out. So I think everyone was kind of treading lightly to make sure that they were, going to be on the right page and hopefully gain a big audience that was interested in watching the show.
Okay. So, how did you land the role of in Ranma 1/2? And if you don't know what Ranma 1/2 is, Ranma 1/2 is a comic book about two Japanese men going to China and studying martial arts there, and one of them accidentally falls into a pool of water that transforms men into boys.
Men into a woman.
Or a man into a female.
That's right. So Ranma, unlike Captain N is prelay, so you go in and you record the voice with other actors in the studio, and then they draw the character to match your dialogue. Ranma has already been done. It's a Japanese anime that we dubbed in English. So when we're doing that in the studio, we're working on our own. And I got the part because I think someone, Bridget Dow, who originally had the role, couldn't do it anymore, so they were recasting, and I had the voice that was closest to hers at the time for the character, and that's how I got to do it. And let me tell you, it was so much fun.
Cool. Was there ever an anime that you did not want to work on because you knew that the role wasn't for you?
No, as an actor, I mean, you want as much experience as possible, and you want to be able to stretch yourself and challenge yourself. Absolutely. Any character or any role that I've ever voiced has been a challenge, and a great one at that, because you always learn from it.
Funny you should mention that. I saw video footage, behind-the-scene footage of Beast Wars Transformers, and you play the bad girl, Black Arachnia. I didn't see you in any of those recording sessions. It was only Gary Chalk, Scott McNeil, and David Kay, and Ian James Corlett. So how did you bring your rendition of Black Arachnia to life?
My rendition of Black Arachnia. So again, like I said, we were given. So Sue Blue, the voice director that directed us on the show, worked with me. I got to audition for the character. I went in with my take of what she should sound like, and then she worked with me to manipulate the voice so that it came out exactly that the writers, the producers, and the director would be happy with. And she was just a really cool, strong, evil character, which was a lot of fun to play.
So here's my question. I got to be a devil's advocate. Was it better for you to play as a villain or play as a Predacon or as a Maximal?
I don't think anyone is just one thing. I think we're all made of many layers, and I, really enjoyed her when she was tough and when she made her point. And a lot of times, even when she was tough, it was just because she was kind of trying to do the right thing, and they weren't listening to her. So it was, I think, more fun. I don't know. It's a toss-up. Both.
Sounds like there's sexism in the Transformers universe. That's all right, though. That's all right. That's cool. Well, Venus, I have to say thank you so much for your time. Are you working on any new projects right now at the moment?
Not at the moment. There's a few things in the works, but I will definitely keep you posted and let you know when something new comes up.
Okay, you heard what the lady said, guys. Venus, thank you so much for your time, energy, and I hope to see you again here at another RetroCon show. Keep kicking ass and taking no prisoners.
Thanks, Amari. Great to be with you.
You heard what she said, guys. Like I said before, I always have the best guests on my program. Thank you, Venus, for your time. That's a wrap. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Amar. I'm still here at RetroCon 2022, September 24th, on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And you're wondering who's the gentleman standing next to me. Yes, this is the one and only Rodimus Primal. He is truly one of the most dedicated fans to the Transformers franchise and some other toys franchise. But without further ado, Rodimus Primal, thank you for being here, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but it's been a long day. I don't think I've ever got to speak in the camera. But yeah, no, it's been a long day. I mean, I've been here since early this morning, but I always enjoy these conventions and getting to meet so many people and just having a good time.
Okay. So I want to know a little bit about your story, how you started with the Transformers. Your YouTube channel, your love for Transformers. How did you get your start? Please tell my audience a little bit about your story.
Well, I mean, Transformers for me has been since like 1984. So like I've been, longtime fan. And, it was around Beast Wars that kind of got me back into Transformers and around the message boards. But it was around those message boards that, you started to see these same kind of questions come up. You would see who became Cyclonus, Rumble and Frenzy, who is who, what's the origin of the Constructicons, and, what have you. And so those questions always came up over and over and over and over again. And then around 2015, I just started getting into, I was already had a graphic design background. So I started learning how to do video editing. So I started applying my graphic design work to making videos. And I figured, why not do something I'm passionate about? Let me get in there. Transformers. And so, so like Transformers is it's been like a long, standing thing for me. So like I've been a fan so long, and like, why don't we start doing discussion type videos where I try to present evidence, I try to present my opinion, but at the same time, I allow the audience to say, to answer by, what do you think? So I always say things like, at the end of my videos, but what do you think? And, leave your thoughts in the comments, because I want people to engage and, be involved in the community. Because I think that's to me the most important thing is the community of Transformers, is because it's a large fandom. We've been fans now for how many years? Transformers is going to be going on 40 years in, 2024, right? So, I try to make videos where I try to answer those questions, and I would give rational, responses, answers. Like for me, I'm a Skywarp guy. I love Skywarp, so yeah, Skywarp is Cyclonus. But then when you look into, the actual the making of it and who became who, and fans just will have their opinion, and they're allowed to have their opinion. That's the cool thing about these type of things. But then it evolved. And I know I'm going long on this. It evolved. It started becoming retrospectives and news and toy reviews, so everything else. So long story short.
In other words, he answered a lot of complicated questions, and he was able to put it in a format where anyone can understand it. For example, mass shifting.
Yes, mass shifting.
I enjoyed that episode, and it was very educational. You explained a lot of things. Also, how did the origin of Transformers? For example, the one thing I haven't gotten a true explanation was the One. Who is the One?
Who is the
One? Yeah.
Well, the one, to my understanding, Simon Furman kind of the concept kind of encirculated it. So to my understanding, the One is the core consciousness of the universe that created, and ended up creating Unicron, and then it in turn created Primus as well. So I think when Furman was creating it, he was trying to encapsulate all of that into the story, and not yet fall into the trope of, I guess, falling into a religion that already exists, since it's the origin story of the Transformers. Well, where did Unicron come from? Unicron existed, you know what I mean? That's where he was trying to come up with the storyline for that, and that's to my understanding.
Okay, so has any of the guys from Hasbro or Takara reached out to you and said, hey, we like what you're doing, we want you to be a part of the brand? Has any of them reached out to you and said thank you?
They acknowledge the fan community. So from what I've seen from Hasbro is that they will watch my videos, they'll see the other fan websites, they'll see whoever is making stuff. So I know that not just Hasbro, but the showrunners will in turn watch my videos for information. So when I did the fact, I'll give an example. The Cliff Jumper video, when I would talk about, does Cliff Jumper die all the time? And the real answer is not really, because the G1 character never died, and it was just basically a modern trope. Well, that video was watched by the people who made the Netflix cartoon. So when Cliff Jumper shows up, they left it open-ended because of my video. And that was
wow, you influenced world history, man. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So that was something that FJ DeSanto himself actually had said to me, that oh yeah, when we watch your video, we wanted to make sure that we kind of slid that in, make it seem like does he die? Well, no, he doesn't. But does he? You don't know. And they left it open-ended on purpose because of that. Hasbro themselves, you know, they take input from fans. So like they've had me on their like they had a fan panel kind of thing where they brought in like some fan websites and some fan, you know, like one of the podcasters was on there, and they wanted to ask us like legitimate questions because they want the feedback. Hasbro does listen to the fans, even if they don't necessarily do what we ask them to do, you know, but they are hearing us. You know what I mean?
I mean, they do have to speak to the designers back in Japan and say, hey, this is what the fans want. And the designers are, okay, we heard you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and there is some, you know, corporate, you know, things where like they're trying to save cost on plastic, so they'll waffle the figure, or they'll, you know, not necessarily make a joint work as well as they should. Those are things where I'm like, I'm willing to say, come on, make it better. You know what I mean? But, you know, at the same time, I like the fact that they're making better, you know, making really good figures about some of our favorite characters, you know? And to me, the characters are the most important.
Of course, without them, there's no point in bothering with the franchise.
Exactly. I mean, right here at RetroCon today, Bob Budiansky is here. He wrote and created basically 250 characters out of toys.
Yeah, I know. I had him on my show already. He's also known as Vector Sigma.
Yeah, maybe you could say that.
No, he confirmed it. He did.
No, he confirmed it?
Yeah, because...
Well, he created the creation matrix.
Yeah, he's also responsible for the life of the character, so therefore he has the right to be called Vector Sigma. That is his title.
There you go. All right, that works. I mean, I for him, he would consider himself the creation makes it probably, but you know, I know. I'm messing with you. So.
No. I made sure to ask him. He said, yeah. He knows he's Vector Sigma.
Okay, that works. That works. You know, Bob Budiansky is, you know, he's a legend. You know, and he's very humble about it, and I'm glad that he is humble about it because he just like, you know, you kind of you know, sometimes when you meet your heroes, you know, they're not necessarily as nice as they could be. I mean, I try to be as kind as I can be to everybody's, but you know.
Well, I never had that problem meeting a hero. I mean, but let's be real about it. You got to catch people when they're in a good mood and when they have some food in their belly.
Yeah.
Do not talk to them when there's no food or even liquor in their system. Leave them alone.
Don't talk to them when they're hangry.
Especially when they're hungry. When they're hungry, oh hell no.
Well,
walk away.
That's what hangry is. You know, when you're.
You said angry.
Hangry. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rodimus, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience. I wish you much more success in the future and your future endeavors. Keep up the good graphic design work, and hopefully Hasbro one day will actually give you a Transformer toy of your own.
Maybe. Who knows? You know, that would be kind of neat. I'm sure if they did, they probably wouldn't even bother to mention me. But who knows? Who cares?
No. If you said it yourself, they really value the input of the fans. So they have to do something to honor what you've been doing for such a long time. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been helping carry one of the biggest brands on earth. You've been making it look cool for a long time. You know, they don't. That's all I can legally say on camera. Well, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Next time,
Bye.
all are one.
Bye-bye. Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Amari. I'm still here at RetroCon 2020 in Philadelphia at the Greater Philadelphia Center. You're wondering, who's the gentleman sitting next to me? Well, guys, I'm telling you, he's one of the greatest voice actors in the business. He's legendary. He kicks ass, takes no prisoners. You're wondering, what is his name? Well, I'm going to tell you what he's about. He's about action, adventure, and the ladies. But right now, he's a married man, so we can't talk about the ladies too much. I'm talking about the one and only, the invincible Peter Newman. How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing well. That's quite a description. I wish I could live up to it. I didn't know I had that exciting a life.
I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience. I know about you, but I want my audience members to learn a little bit about you. Could you please tell me a little bit about your origin story? How did you get into acting, and specifically voice acting?
Well, I think the voice acting came about because ever since I was a kid, I had the impulse to do funny voices, and as I grew up, started doing just some silly impressions, whatever caught my fancy. And at some point in my life, somebody advised me, you should go talk to an agent because those silly voices that you do, people are making money doing that. So I did end up talking to an agent at one point, and they were very kind, and they advised me and guided me, and I put together a reel-to-reel demo tape. And that's how long ago it was. It was a reel-to-reel tape. No kidding. I'm sure some of you have no clue what that even means, but just trust me on that. And then I ended up getting sent out on auditions, and as the fates would have it, I got the first audition that I went on. It was the voice of a parrot, and I was hooked, basically. I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I've found my niche, and it's clear sailing from here. And then, of course, I had to learn about the business and how to be a professional in front of a microphone. But I managed to do it and had a great time. A wonderful career.
Okay. So, what was? I know you're a superstar voice actor. So, how did you hear about the ThunderCats audition? Because that's what we're all planning to learn about, right? Learn about you from right now.
You're very kind with that superstar business. I'm just a grunt. I was a grunt in the trenches. And ThunderCats came about like so many other jobs came about. My agent sent me for an audition. They said they're looking for different voices for a cartoon. I don't remember if they described it as a pilot at that time. But basically I was sent to an office. The production company was Rankin Bass. And they didn't even record the audition. They just gave me ideas of the kinds of voices they were looking for. I gave them my ideas of what those voices might sound like. And then I left the office thinking, wow, that was strange. And I think a day or two later, my agent called, or I was in the office, and said, you got the job. And by the way, it's going to be big. It's going to be a whole series. And well, the rest, as you know, is history. And it was the best gig I ever had in my career, doing the ThunderCats and Silverhawks and a couple of other things for that same company.
Whoa! Since you mentioned that was the best gig you ever had, there's a lot of wild rumors concerning your character specifically, the Tygra character. But before we go on to the wild and crazy rumors about Tygra, I do have to ask you about Silverhawks because it's not going to make any sense to me to just discuss Tygra. We're going to leave the juicy parts for later. We're going to give you the meat later, not now. So, with Silverhawks, what was going on with that production? Because I did enjoy the show. I did enjoy having you play Quicksilver. My only problem with that show was it wasn't enough action.
You're entitled to your opinion, even though it's completely wrong. But Silverhawks came about as a follow-up to ThunderCats. What happened was I think we were coming to the end of the first season of ThunderCats, and the producers said, we've got another cartoon. It's called Silverhawks. They gave us some descriptions. I don't remember if they even had any artwork about what the characters might look like. And I literally went home and started thinking about voices that might be appropriate because I had to make it different than what I'd done on ThunderCats. And I was experimenting with different sounds of voices, and I came up with a sound and thought, wow, that's different than what I've done before, and I think it could work for the lead character, that Quicksilver character. Then whenever we got together again at the studio, we all did these in-studio auditions, because all of us wanted to be part of this new project. And I did what I thought would be a good voice for this Quicksilver character, and lo and behold, they agreed. They thought it was a good voice. I ended up getting the Quicksilver character, and I got another job. It keeps going, and that's how it came about.
So here's my question: did Rankin Bass ever try to turn Silverhawks into an animated movie, or it was just going to be a straight TV show?
My recollection, it was all just the TV show. The TV show.
Yeah, because I know they wanted to make Thundercats the movie. They were gonna. I know Rankin Bass. They were gonna produce a full-feature Thundercats animated movie and put it in theaters, but because of the this had nothing to do with you guys because you guys had no control over that. The failure of Transformers and G.I. Joe made them realize, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just keep it as a regular TV show instead of making it a movie. You know, I really wanted to see Thundercats in theaters, but unfortunately, due to what was going on in the playground, you know, G.I. Joe failed, Transformers failed, so that kind of made Rankin Bass, let's not do that.
Honestly, I don't think I'd ever heard that explanation before. And from my point of view, I'd heard about that they might want to do that. Nobody ever really approached me through my agent in any serious way about it. And being, you know, an actor, a voice actor, going from job to job, this was later on. This was after we'd finished the original recordings. I was just going about my business, going to auditions, getting some jobs, not getting other jobs. So I never, while it was interesting and hoped I'd be able to participate in any of those kinds of projects, I never hung my hat on it. I never counted on it. This life of an actor in general is a very existential one. You go and do your auditions, you get some jobs, you don't get others. Some jobs you hope you'll get, you won't. Others you don't expect to get, you do. And that's just the way it is. That's just part of that life.
So, okay, well, thank you for at least speaking on it because I know a lot of times these production companies, they don't share everything with you guys anyway. Sure. Now we're going to get to the juicy part of Tygra and Peter Newman. We're going to the meat now. So, you played several characters on ThunderCats. Tygra, Wily Cat, Monkian, and he's one of my favorite characters, Hachiman, the only real human, besides the caveman. So how did you come up with the voice for Wily Cat?
Wily Cat, the description was for a boy, a young teen, something along those lines. And a number of us tried, you know, audition again, in-studio auditions. And I guess I just hit the right note, so to speak. And so I got to be Wily Cat. That's all. It's nothing more complicated than that. Each of us, whenever a new character was going to be put into the story, although Wily Cat was from the beginning as well, we would all give it a shot, and the producers, the director would say, okay, that's the one we're going with. So I just, luck of the draw. I won that audition, I guess I'd say.
Okay, so what about, I know Monkian is very easy, you know, you're just imitating the monkey, I just don't know which one. Like, what would you base Monkian's animalistic, I mean, like, what kind of monkey was Monkian? Was he like a baboon? Was he like a chimpanzee?
No, I thought it more just as an ape, a larger ape, one of the great apes, a gorilla-sized ape, just because of the size he was. I wanted him to have enough sound and volume that it would go with the size of the physical size of the character. That's, yeah.
All right. Hachiman is my favorite human in the show. So how did you come up with Hachiman? Did you study any Sonny Chiba movies or Toshiro Fumune? Coming with his voice?
One of the things that I always loved doing, and still do in fact, is foreign accents. So I was familiar with Japanese accent. I had that in my brain. You know, you have to have a recording of it in your head to be able to reproduce it. So I could have done a number of different things, but here was a samurai warrior, a hero. Excuse me. So I also wanted to give him a kind of gravitas. So rather than a lighter sound, I chose to go with a heavier sound and a very staccato kind of sound. Again, matching what appeared to be the nature of the character, the physical presence, and the action in the scripts as well.
That's cool, man. I wish you had a thunder cutter on you right now. So there's some wild rumors going about Tygra. For example, when the Thundercats were leaving Earth, I saw an episode of Full House, and I noticed Tygra. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. Tygra's schlong was hanging out. You know anything about that?
Tygra's what was hanging out?
Yeah, it was hanging out. I saw it.
Okay, clearly that's the first I've ever heard of that. Same thing about any juicy rumors about Tygra. It was naturally, it had nothing to do with me, and it's kind of funny hearing all this stuff. This is like what you hear in the gossips, you know what I mean, about quote the stars. Well, this was an animated character, so I guess people could make up whatever they wanted to about him. Not my idea. Tygra, as far as I'm concerned, I'm loyal to that character. I love Tygra, and he's good. He's cool always.
Well, there is another rumor going on. You've heard of Patti Smith and the rock band Scandal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody, they had a dancer in there dressed up kind of like Tygra-esque in the video.
Okay.
Well, like, was there any connection to you and the guy that directed the music video at all?
No, again, I guess I'm living a very sheltered life. I didn't know anything about that. You know, artists are free to express themselves any way they want. Again, it's not something I had any say about or would want any say about. That's not what my job was. So I don't know if it was fun. I hope it was fun. I hope it stirred some people's imaginations and entertained people. And there you go. But like I say, for me, it was always about the cartoon and the original characters. So that's what I enjoyed doing. I hope you guys enjoyed it too.
All right. Well, there's one more thing I have to address. There is talk of a live-action ThunderCats movie in the works. I don't know if you're willing to physically reprise the role of Tygra, but if you don't want to do it, who would you have take over your role for you? And not only that, do they need to come receive your blessing first in order for them to have the role of Tygra? Because not many people can carry that role.
The first thing is, of course, they don't need my blessing because I don't own the character. No, I won't be doing the physical character of Tygra. I don't think I could fill out the suit. And who would they get?
Who would you like to play your role, play your character?
Pressure's on. I can't think of anybody, but he's got to be handsome and muscular, and Tiger's Tiger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if they do make the live action one, they would have to. They must call you up and say, "Hey, is this within the character or behavior of Tygra?" You know?
Yeah. No, the main thing. No, the main thing I have to say. No, nobody needs any clearance from me about that because I say I'm not in charge of anything. So they're free to create. I guess Warner Brothers owns the. I know they own the cartoon. I assume they own the rights to all the characters. So they're the ones who'd have to give the clearance. Me? Nah, nobody's calling me about that. All right, listen, guys, it's great talking to you guys, but I gotta hit the road. Okay, take care. Have fun.
Well, we will thank you for your time, and we also want to see you in a live action movie when it does come out, when it's being filmed. At least a cameo, you know.
Maybe I could be Tiger's grandfather.
Or Tiger's father, Javon. Thank you so much for your time, Peter Newman. It was nice talking to you, and I hope to see you again here at RetroCon. And thank you for your time. Thank you for clearing up a lot of these wild and crazy rumors that I heard. I'm just only telling him what I heard. That's it. These are not rumors I created, all right? Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. It's okay. All right. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm here with the one and only legendary Larry Kenney. This is a part 2 interview. The reason why I'm here is because there's some things I want to discuss with him. So the word on the street is that there's going to be a live-action ThunderCats movie. And it's going to be directed by the guy that did King Kong versus Godzilla. So what are your thoughts on that production going on?
Well, first of all, I thank you for asking me back.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, now we're even. It's funny. Every couple of years, there's a rumor on the internet and, at Comic-Cons and things about a ThunderCats movie. And I don't know any more than anybody else about it. I mean, I don't. I would assume it would be Warner Brothers. It would have to be Warner Brothers who did it because they own the rights to it. But I really don't know. I haven't heard anything official from anybody whether they're going to do a movie or not. They announced back in 2010 that they were going to do a CGI movie. Warner Brothers announced that, and they said they had a director signed on and a screenwriter signed on. But then a few months later, they decided to table that for a while, and they made a new a reboot, the 2011 reboot of ThunderCats, the TV series. So it's a long way of saying I have no idea.
That's okay. So the rumor mill is that Adam Wingard, he's the one that wants to write and direct the live-action movie. And if it does come to fruition, I do want to see you on the screen, at least wielding the sword of omens and able to do some fighting. You know, I would love to see you at least play Cloudus, and we learn the origin of like how he became blind when he was battling the mutants. Because in the original show, he lost his sight fighting the mutants, but they never told us how he did it, how it happened. And I really do want to see a part of that live-action production.
Well, thank you. I'd love to see it too. And let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm really not trying to be evasive. If I knew anything about it, I would say, yeah, I've heard this or I've heard that. But it's all I've heard is rumors. So
of course, just like me. And Larry, you spoke the truth. You said you don't know, and that's fine. You know, everything's a wait-and-see situation. Hopefully, once we're done with this episode, I will send Adam a tweet saying, hey, you know, if you're going to at least write and direct me, make sure Larry's part of the cast. As I really do want to see you kick some ass on the big screen.
Well, thank you. I hope I can still do it.
I'm pretty confident you can. You know, you can. I'm sure you're willing to get yourself back into shape, and you know, you'll be good to go.
I still have the leotard, you know, but I have to get back in shape.
Yeah. So, are you working on any new shows right now, or are you just doing the Comic-Con circuit for now?
Well, I'm doing the Comic-Con circuit, and I'm doing I have they call it a recurring role on Teen Titans Go. I play a character called the Chief. Yeah, the Chief. And I'm still doing commercials. I still do Skittles commercials. Feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow. That's me.
And the VR Troopers commercial too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long time ago. VR Troopers. Yeah. You got a good memory.
Larry, I'm one of your loyal fans. Loyalty is appreciated. You appreciate loyalty. That's why I'm here.
Thank you very much, man. I do appreciate you.
Well, Larry, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. May God continue to bless you and your household. I was going to bring some stuff for you, but unfortunately, because I'm doing this filming by myself, I don't have an assistant. Next time I see you, I will make sure to pack a little bit lighter. Because there's something I do want to give to you that I'm sure you will gladly appreciate.
Oh, aren't you kind? I look forward to it.
Yeah, but you're going to see it online first, though.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't wait.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Larry is my final guest that I'm going to interview. I've always learned to go out with a bang, and this is the bang I want to go out with. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back right after these messages. Bye-bye.